Well, that's a single that's doing extremely well at the moment for Billy Fury. It's gone into the charts and it's climbing all the time. It's Devil and Angel, and the gentleman himself has joined us today. Billy, it's good to see you. Looking very fit, I may say.
Thank you very much. That's a real compliment.
Because all during the 70s, as I mentioned earlier, you were dogged by illness. I mean, serious illness. So how did it start?
Well, when I was a child, I was struck down at the age of, I think it was 6, with rheumatic fever. And this is going back a long time ago, and they didn't have any cures or really any medical solutions for it, and it was just a matter of being laid up in bed for about 8 weeks, or 6 weeks bed rest, and then moving about a bit. And I kind of got over it, but then I was struck again with it at the age of about 8, and then I had rheumatism reoccurring up until the age of about 14, which left me with a damaged heart. But it didn't bother me at the time. I used to take part in all the sports at schools. I used to love long distance running, sprinting. I loved football and cricket and all the sports I adored. And even when I was left school and was working on the tugboats, which was a very, very physically hard job, I managed that quite well. And I also managed the singing bit, which came later. And it was, I think I was about 30 or just gone 30, and all of a sudden it hit me, just suddenly hit me and knocked me flat on my back. That was the actual heart trouble.
Yeah, so you ended up having open heart surgery, didn't you?
I went in to have open heart surgery first time, I think was about 1970, and they told me that it was successful. I had one of the valves repaired. And then they said I was okay to go back on the road, so to speak, and go back and do the singing and the travelling, which I did because I really adore all kinds of music. And 5 years later, the problem hit me again. And, I just thought, wow, take it easy, Billy.
So did you in fact have to have more surgery after that?
Then I had to have a second heart surgery. And anyway, here we are.
Here you are, back into the thick of it again. But surely you won't really go into the business as fast and furiously as you did in the 60s, when you had all those hits and all the touring. And
I would love to, but apart from my age and the health bit, it just really is, the pressures and everything are just too much. But I'm very much enjoying doing studio work, recording, and getting around and meeting all the people in the music business on every side of it, because there's some great people.
So are you doing it on a kind of part-time basis then at the moment?
When I was asked by Polydor if I would lay down some tracks for them, they were singles, I thought it would be a really part-time basis, and they promised me that it would be without the pressures. But as things have carried on, I seem to be getting all the pressures again. And now they want me to do some live shows, and I have done a few, which I actually enjoyed very much, but I just can't go night after night, like one-night stands, and these tours and things.
See, I would have thought that from your point of view, if you've really been given a new lease of life, and a chance the second time around, that you would be extremely careful this time.
Well, I've had one chance, and then I'm on my second chance. Yeah.
So has it changed your whole philosophy and attitude, do you think, to life?
It's got me. I used to be very shy and in a kind of a shell, and then I got to thinking that I ain't really got much time left, and it's no good being quiet forever and ever and ever. I thought it was about time I broke out the shell and started mixing with people, which I have been doing for the last 12 months. And it's like a completely different life.
I should imagine a lot of people say you'd be a fool, though, to really go at it, as they would say, hammer and tongs, and wear yourself really down again with too many concerts.
Well, I'm trying not to, but you know what record companies are like.
Don't you worry, Billy. I'll give off to your record company, and I'll make sure that you don't overwork if you're right.
Oh, you're a wonderful record company, Polydor. You're absolutely ace.
You're a man, though, of great passion in terms that you're very keen on looking after sick animals, and I know that you're a great feathered bird watcher. And in fact,
Sure.
part of your farm in mid-Wales is devoted, isn't it, to looking after sick animals?
Well, in fact, the whole farm is really devoted to looking after wildlife in general, both mammals and birds. But there is a part which is a kind of a hospital part where any injured birds or anything that's been picked up from the road or picked up by children, people come from miles around to bring things to me. I've had badgers and foxes this year, and I've also had quite a lot of birds of prey. And occasionally I lose one or two, but most of them recover. And I get great satisfaction in seeing them go free. Also, I just love the countryside, and I love British wildlife.
And generally preserving it, presumably.
Oh, definitely preserving it, because there's not many of us around to do the preserving these days. There's a lot of destroying of natural habitats and areas of outstanding beauty. I think they really must be preserved, otherwise it's just going to be human beings and nothing else, cats and dogs and human beings.
So do you make sure that on your farm you have enough natural habitats available?
I do. I created 10 acres of marshland, lakes and small ponds, which have been very, very interesting, and I planted bulrushes, Norfolk reeds, and I altered the levels on the ponds and on the lakes, and I have a lot of wildfowl coming in now. And last year, some geese came by, which was the first time they'd been in the area for, I believe, almost 100 years. And there's a very rare bird down in Wales called the red kite. There are only 12 pairs left in the British Isles. And in the wintertime, I stake out some meat which I get from the butchers, because red kites are also, they're birds of prey, and they're also, they eat carrion. So if an animal dies in the countryside, the natural way of things is for birds which feed on carrion to do all the cleaning up. And so in actual fact it stops any spread of disease. So I stake out some of the, I call it rubbish from the butcher shop in the local village. And I have red kites coming down, I have buzzards coming down to feed, and I have ravens coming down to feed. And the reason I stake it out is because if I don't, the fox comes in the night and takes the whole lot away.
Actually, I have this mental picture of you as well, you know, climbing up trees and hiding behind bushes with your binoculars. And
oh, sure. When I was a little younger, I used to do all that, and I used to be very interested in photography, and ornithology was a great love of mine. And I used to build hides and take pictures of birds and study their habitats, their feeding needs, even their mating habits, so how they built their nest and with what materials and what trees they preferred to build them in. Really went through the whole lot and enjoyed it very much. I just loved the trees and fields and everything.
Billy Fury, I think you're a man who's got all his priorities all sorted out anyway. But we haven't talked at all about the music, but that's no harm. I find the rest of it very interesting. And good luck with us with your new single, and of course the album is coming out fairly soon, isn't it?
Oh, thank you. I'm very fortunate to meet ace producer Stuart Coleman, and we're working on this album now, which is an awful lot of fun. It really is great fun. And we hope to get it out around about February or March, I think.
Well, keep well anyway, that's the important thing. And I know you have so many hits from the 60s to choose from, but we are going back to 65 and a song called In Thoughts of You, so look after yourself.
You too.
Just one of the many hits that Billy Fury had in the early 60s and middle 60s, and that particular one was In Thoughts of You, going back to 1965. And of course, Billy Fury was one of our guests today.